Okay, welcome everybody, and we appreciate you coming here. It is April 8th, 2025, and we start this meeting every Tuesday at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, and Dr. Wallach is in California time, so that's Pacific. So we appreciate everybody coming here tonight to get information that you don't regularly hear out in the world, okay? So the information here tonight is what we must say legally is we're here to offer information and education. So the protocols that you hear tonight are in books and resources that Dr. Wallach himself and others have written. And so that information is available, and we don't cure or treat or diagnose anyone here, but what we do is we offer information to help you. And if you do follow the protocols and the books and resources that are available, you will be able to feel and get better. Okay, with that being said, we're going to do about 10 or 15 minutes. Dr. Wallach's going to give us some information, and then we're going to have about 10 or 15 minutes to have Q&A. So please mute your phones and take notes, and when you're ready for asking questions, please raise your hand. Dr. Wallach, I'm going to give the phone over to you.
Okay, well, thank you, Pam. I had my hand raised. Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you. And today I want to talk about one of my books. I published my first issue of this book in 1994. It's, let's see here, 500 pages, and it covers hundreds of diseases, okay? These are all, of course, nutritional deficiency diseases. And we have some information that can precede the utilization of the book information, okay? The book is called Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, and it's very, very, what should I say, people have heard about it here recently because there's a war going on between the Russians and the Ukrainians in Eastern Europe. And there's a large deposit of these rare earths in the Ukraine. And the Russians want those deposits of rare earths because they prevent and eliminate diseases, okay? So at any rate, we have a 4-page little brochure that we'll have available in a couple of days. But the books are available now, okay? Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. You see, The Secrets of Health and Longevity, the definitive home reference on minerals, mineral deficiencies, and the relationship to degenerative diseases, learning disabilities, criminal behaviors, hyperactivities, birth defects, addictions, food binges, depressions, infertilities, and more, okay? And so this book kind of just, which I say just consistently flies off the shelves. So we sold quite a few of these. Okay. Then on page 2, there's no brochure we're finishing. It'll be available in a couple of days. 17 rare earth elements. We actually went and looked up this is rare earth elements. Was there just 1 or 2 or 5 or what? There's 17 rare earth elements, all of which are in our, we have a product called plant-derived minerals. Okay, these 17 rare earth elements are in our plant-derived minerals. I drink an ounce of that twice a day. I've been doing that for, oh gosh, at least 25 years. I think it's probably closer to 35 years. Okay, and so this first page in this kind of flip chart, 17 rare earth elements, okay. The first one, yttrium, was discovered and identified and described in 1788, cerium in 1803, lanthanum in 1839, erbium in 1842, terbium in 1843, ytterbium in 1878, holmium in 1878, scandium in 1879, samarium in 1879, thulium in 1879, praseodymium in 1885, neodymium in 1885, dysprosium in 1886, europium in 1886, gadolinium in 1889, luteum in 1907, and promethium in 1947. These are the 17 rare earth elements that prevent and reverse diseases. Okay? People know about iron, and they know about calcium, and they know about copper, and they know about zinc and stuff like that, but they've probably never heard of most of these minerals. Okay? And the diseases they prevent and reverse are just rampant. And okay? And so let me flip over to a few. Okay, what are the rare earth elements? These rare earth elements, REEs are called, REEs, rare earth elements, are a group of 17 chemically similar metallic elemental elements in the periodic table. Okay, comprises 15 lanthanides elements. Okay, lanthanum, cerium, praseodymium, neodymium, promethium, samarium, europium, gadolinium, terbium, dysprosium, holmium, erbium, thulium, ytterbium, luteum, plus the scandium, and ytterbium. Okay, these rare earths are actually not rare. Okay, they're found in nature, but they occur in clusters. Okay, so it's not like, I guess you call them veins, like veins of gold and gold mines and that kind of stuff. Okay, and so it's one of those things. There's 2 pages here on where these elements are found and so forth and how they're acquired. I'm not going to go into that right now. Okay, we're going to deal with a few of these issues, and it's one of those things. These deficiencies cause birth defects, and doctors will say, "Oh, that's genetic." I mean, quite a few of the people in this village get this birth defect because it's a genetic thing. No, they get the defects in quantities and numbers in that area because they're missing those nutrients. Okay, and so this is really a great thing for families and churches, and things you can do to get the information to people. And of course, we have the the books and the CDs and DVDs, but the one book that really covers this rare earths is the title, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. Okay, we also have the flip charts. The flip chart is a good kind of companion, 75 pages. Diseases in famous people. We're talking about athletes, TV stars, movie stars, billionaires that were at death's door. We gave them these rare earths, and they recovered. And so we have their pictures, we have their stories in this flip chart. And so the flip chart is good to go along with the rare earths forbidden cures. Okay? It's one of those things where here we go. It's one of those things where you just have to kind of pay attention to this, the Rare Earths Forbidden Cures book, and you'll be amazed. You will just be amazed at how much information you can get by either flipping through this book or reading the book. I still go back and read it again because we're talking 500 pages here, okay? And so we have a brochure. It's an educational brochure, some of my top-selling books. And the number one book, and we flip the page open to this brochure on my books, is on, you got it, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. Okay, the secrets of health and longevity. Degenerative diseases, learning disabilities, criminal behaviors, hyperactivity, birth defects, addictions, food binges, depression, and infertility, and more. What a great gift to give a young couple getting married, a young couple graduating college or high school, grandma who's starting to get arthritis and osteoporosis, high blood pressure, diabetes. All these things are in this book, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. It tells you how to prevent them, how to get rid of them. Okay, so we're coming out with a brochure, okay, to make this book and the information available to common people. We're just making the cover of the brochure right now. We've got the guts of the brochure done, and on the first page, the right-hand side, it's got a picture of the let's see here, a picture of the book, okay, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, okay, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, and goes into the main categories of diseases that prevents and reverses. All right, so Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, and then the flip chart, 90 for Life Crusade to save humanity in the world, and those two things together will be a blessing to your family, to your neighbors, to your workmates, to your churchmates. And so I urge you to get a hold of this book, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. And, of course, you can contact Pam, and Dave will give you a number to contact. I could throw out a bunch of my numbers, but I'll let them throw out their number because they'll be busy teaching people how to utilize this book. I mean, we're talking 500 pages here of information how to prevent, reverse these diseases, okay? And it's written at the 6th grade reading level, so even if you only have a 6th grade education, you'll be able to do as good a job or a better job of treating and reversing these diseases than a medical doctor will. Okay, so with all that said, I'm going to turn this over to Pam, and let's answer some questions.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wallach. So why is it important that everybody receives this knowledge from these books? And so the first thing that comes to my mind is, well, they came out with this particular little device that's called a Kindle. And kindling for the fire is something to get away from knowing the truth. So if you have these in your hands, these are resources that you can look at. You can highlight in your, with the highlighter in your book, and you have proof. So if you want to get these books, like, Dr. Wallach said, you can call 800-755-4656, and that's at it's www.drjwallach.com. So you can get the resources there. And if you have a question, you can raise your hand, and we will answer your calls here. So, Dr. Wallach, I love the flip chart because, this is your 90 for Life crusade to save humanity and the world, and you've brought in so many people back to life just learning how to, keep the bad foods out because you have the good food, bad food list, and the nutrition to help the body absorb what it needs. And my favorite part of the book, because my doctor that I was seeing, when I was seeing that, certain doctors, he said it was all in my head. And so that's what makes me, go to this page 11, page 12 here, and it says, head to toe, what happens upstream affects everything downstream. So the nerves running through the whole body. And if you are thinking, any of the people out there listening to this call, if you're thinking that you're going to take a pill that's going to help your knee, you're going to have to take the nutrition to help the whole body, not just the knee, right? So if you could talk a little bit about, how connective tissue affects people in the body.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'm kind of an expert with connective tissue because I was an athlete. I lettered in football, and I lettered in track. I lettered in weightlifting, and so forth. And it's one of those things where people who are in sports and do physical labor, they're always having trouble with their elbows and their shoulders and their necks and their backs and their hips and their knees and their ankles and toes. And doctors always want to do surgery. This is how they get the money to send their kids to college. And, of course, I'm going to read a couple of numbers for you, and then I'll answer your question. Okay, the numbers.
Thanks, Dr. Wallach.
You're welcome. Okay, Alzheimer's disease, we spend $345 billion a year just to treat the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease, and I can get rid of it in 2 weeks. Alzheimer's is a very simple nutritional deficiency. It's not genetic or old age nutritional deficiencies. Arthritis, we spend each year in America alone, just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure, just to treat the symptoms in America alone, $626.8 billion. Osteoporosis, the lack of minerals in our long bones, like our legs and arms and vertebrae and so forth, we spend $6.5 trillion a year just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure it. And I could go on and on and on, but you get the idea here. Okay? This is where doctors make all their money. And, of course, the patients tend to be happy because they're getting painkillers, get rid of the pain. I just love my doctor, got rid of my pain, because the patient doesn't know that they can get rid of the disease. Okay? And so this is why we came up with the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, which is our Healthy Start Pack, and the 90 essential nutrients, 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids. And I also added the glucogel. Now, I made glucogel. I invented it. Now, glucogel takes the place of something that had been used for thousands of years. Okay? It was called bone broth. Are you old enough to remember bone broth?
Well, sure.
Okay, so bone broth, for those that aren't, they're kind of new to the world and haven't heard of bone broth. Well, bone broth, they would boil bones at night in vinegar water, and the vinegar water would suck the minerals out of the bones, and they would drink that the next morning at breakfast, and they get their minerals that way. That was done for thousands of years. And then about 100 years ago, people got kind of bored with it with all their modern homes and this, that, and the other, and they didn't want to stink up the house with boiling bones and this, that, and the other. And they were happy with the painkillers that the doctors were giving them. And they'd get surgery to put a pin in their bones and this kind of stuff. And so I came out with a glucogel for a professional athlete, Theo Ratliff, whose career was over. And I rebuilt his bones. He came back 3 months after they fired him because he didn't want to amputate his legs like they wanted to do. So I rebuilt I did the glucogel for him. And he came back, and he played for 9 more years and made over $100 million in contracts because of the glucogel. It rebuilt all the cartilage in his knees, his hips, and so forth. And nobody in the professional basketball world could believe it. Okay, because he couldn't even walk. Okay, before I rebuilt him with our glucogel. So it's one of those things where the body has a unique capacity to rebuild itself given all the raw materials. And all these diseases in this book, Rare Earth Forbidden Cures, we have the 90 essential nutrients, 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids. And then we have a class of what we call secret sauces. And we call them secret sauces because we don't want people to use them by themselves. Okay, you need the basic 90 essential nutrients, so all your tissues and organs will function and work properly and rebuild themselves. And you need the secret sauces for that one particular thing to work better because it does require more of a particular nutrient. That's why it works so well for Theo Ratliff.
Hey, Doc, Can I jump in here?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Pam, is there any other questions? If not, I've got a question and a comment.
Go ahead.
Any questions up? Any hands up or anything?
Is this Dave in the Thumb?
This is Dave in the Thumb. How you doing, Doc?
Okay.
Great. So, I want to comment on that, on the glucogel. I fell down my basement stairs in 2012. They said an 80% chance I was going to have that foot amputated in surgery. He was able to patch me back up with some screws, and, it was pretty messed up. I was in a wheelchair for 5 months and had a cast on for quite a little bit longer than that. And I'm telling you, Pam had me slamming the osteo and the glucogel in the hospital, Doc. While I was in the hospital 6 days after surgery, and it was amazing how when that surgeon said I would be begging him within 5 years to cut off my foot. because he was able to patch it back up. I said, why? He said, there's only one blood vessel that feeds that bone, and you've got the worst break I've ever seen in my career, and I've never seen one heal. And I said, well, how do I even those odds, Doc? He said, nutrition. Well, I was just learning about you, Doc, and I had just heard you say glucogel, and it came in the mail the day I fell down my basement stairs, but I ordered it for Pam because she tore a ligament in a kickboxing exercise, a year ago earlier, and I finally heard you say on a radio show what the secret sauce was for Theo Ratliff, and I ordered that. It came in the mail the day I fell, and we both had an incredible, testimonial because of it. You saved our lives. Now, I've got a question. I got to ask you now. In like 2005, we were invited to a birthday party, and I was legally blind then. I could see a whole lot better than I can now, but they told me, don't be alarmed when we introduce the dad of this family. He's a rancher and a farmer, and he's got skin cancer on his face. Doc, when they walked me up to this guy, he had a 2-inch shiitake mushroom button growing out of his cheek. And I said, oh, my God, to myself. I kind of gagged, and I'm like, my God, that's a mushroom growing on his face. And they're telling him it's skin cancer. Well, later on, we find out we moved up here in the same area that party was, and we met that guy years later, and his cancer had gone away. And then we met him again, and he was dying. He had cancer back, and he just died here recently. Now, I met this boxer, this Olympic boxer. He has a mushroom growing on his body that they're telling him it's the same kind of cancer that those doctors told that man that they killed him with that, they got rid of the mushroom, but then he died of cancer anyway. So I got this guy on. He's 38. He's a gold medal Olympic boxer and a professional boxer. He was 190 and 10, I think, in the Olympics. And he was 37 and 4, I think, in his professional career. Well, he's 38 now, and he's got this mushroom growing on his body, and he is in agony. I've got him on 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs, the collagen peptides, colloidal silver. What else do I got him on? Z-Radical.
Do you have him
Go
on
ahead.
any selenium?
So, yes, I got him on. He's got a 4-pack of selenium, plus the 2 bottles that he got, in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. He's about 100 I think he's about 170 pounds, but I'm treating him as a 200-pound man. And he signed his whole family up, and they're all taken, and they're all feeling incredibly better. And it was only like 3 days. He said the pain was almost gone. I got him soaking that body part in silver and in I can't remember what else. Anyway, he's really doing great. Now, you got any other thoughts about that mushroom being cancer, and any other thoughts about getting rid of fungus in the body besides silver and just being on all 90 nutrients?
Yeah, you got to get him. Make sure to stay away from all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat rhinos, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. That one's got to go. No peanuts and no peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Peanuts,
and he called me. He called me the other day, Doc, and he was doing so great. And he's like, "Man, you said I can't have peanut butter, right?" I said, "Right." He goes, "Oh, what about almond butter?" I said, "No, it's oxidized oil and butter." I said, "You got any nuts?" Any nuts? And he goes, "I got some walnuts." I said, "Okay, you get a handful of walnuts, put them in a blender, put some butter." He says, "Like, what about ghee?" I said, "Yeah, ghee is purified butter. Put some ghee in there and some salt and blend it up and make your own peanut butter." And he said it was fantastic. So he needs to hear this recording. I couldn't get him on the call, But I'm going to send him the recording so he can hear this. You telling him to get off the bad foods, because I told him, and he's still kind of floating around him. And his wife is telling him, you better stop ordering that stuff, that bad food. And so if he hears you say it, I think maybe it'll stick this time.
Okay, good. Well, thanks for sharing that story. Yeah, keep us informed and make sure that he knows to stay away from those bad foods. But that's why so many beer drinkers, when they get their paycheck on Fridays, they run to the bar and they drink their beer, and they wind up getting liver cancer. And they, and the doctor says, do you drink beer or whiskey? I say, well, I drink beer every Friday. Well, that's why you have your liver cancer, because you have all that alcohol. No, it's because the bartender gave them the peanuts.
That's right.
Peanuts, Aspergillus flavus. And Aspergillus flavus produces aflatoxin, which causes liver cancer. At one time, about 10 years ago, I first learned about this. Every zoo in the world, now listen here, Dave, every zoo in the world, all their bears had liver cancer. So they contacted me and said, is there anything we can do about that? I said, well, are there any other animals in the zoo with liver cancer? No, it's just the bears. Well, that's good, because that eliminates a lot of questions. Okay. Let's see, what are the bears doing that the others aren't? Oh, do they get the peanuts that people sell at the front of the zoo? Well, yeah, that's what people do. They throw them all the peanuts. Okay, stop giving them the peanuts because of that cancer-causing fungus, Aspergillus flavus, and the aflatoxin. And within 3 months' time, all the liver cancer and all the bears in the zoos of the world stopped.
Praise God.
And I remember you telling me this story before, Doc, and they were also feeding those bears that moldy bread, and you said, get them off the bread, put them on a large breed dog food, and that has all the nutrients in it, and, yeah, get them off them peanuts, and you save the bears and all the zoos and all the world. And we love you for that, because we love those bears.
And so now we're saving all of the people who go to the bars on Friday to have a beer.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay. We got 2 minutes left. If anyone has a question, please *6 to unmute. Okay, so we do have questions here. I know that we do have questions from the callers. Okay, so *6. And Dr. Wallach, that's proof right there, what you said. If something's hurting your knee or your hand or whatever, whatever's happening upstream affects everything downstream. And that's on page 12 in your book. And any questions here, please unmute and ask Dr. Wallach.
Everybody is so scared and shy to ask questions, and as soon as you're gone, my phone blows up. Oh, I wanted to ask Doc this or that, and it's like, man, he's right here, right now. Ask him. Don't be afraid.
Okay, well,
we won't keep you any longer, Doc. We love you, and we appreciate you so much for doing these Tuesday calls with us, and we'll definitely hope you have a great night and a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, thank you so much for all you do. You're a great team, and you're angels of God, and we love you for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hello?
Oh, I hear somebody asking a question. Go ahead, Nick.
Did the doc already hang up?
Yeah. No, I'll ask the question if you ask the question.
So my question is that I got diagnosed with PMR, polymyxatic rheumatica, about...
I can't understand a word you're saying.
I said I got diagnosed with polymyxatic rheumatica about 5 or 6 years ago. And my doctor at the time put me on prednisone.
Okay, so you have rheumatoid arthritis?
No, I have polymyxatic rheumatica. So they tested me for rheumatoid arthritis, but none of the markers came back positive.
Okay, but you had arthritis of some kind.
Right. Polymyxatic rheumatica is what they call inflammation of the joints, right?
Okay.
So they put prednisone.
Okay. None of the bad foods, and Pam and Dave know about all this. None of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, rye, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. No peanuts, no peanut butter. Okay, and you need to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of breakfast and dinner. You need the glucogel. Take 3 of those at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner, and that'll regrow your cartilage in your knees, hips, and your ankles, and your shoulders, and your hips, and so forth. It'll regrow the bone matrix so that your body can put the minerals into the bones. It wouldn't hurt to get another bottle in addition to the Health Brain and Heart Pack. Get a bottle of the, let's see here, I would get the OsteoFX. Take an ounce of that twice a day. It's your body weight. That's a liquid calcium, okay? And don't forget the glucogel. You'll have new bones.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Thank you, guests, and I will call you, that caller that just asked a question. I'll call you back after the show. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Have a great day and a better tomorrow, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.